All right. Test radio. Can you guys see the disclosure? Hello, hello. Anybody? Anybody? All right, cool. So take a look at disclosure. Let's get to it. All right. My name is Scott Redler. I'm the Chief Strategic Officer at T3Live.com. Welcome to today's recap and look ahead. So historic day, right? That's what everybody's talking about. But anyway, it was a pretty big day. I think a lot of people did pretty well. We came in with a bunch of different types of plays on, then traded, I think, pretty well also throughout the course of the day. These type of days are always tough. You don't know if they're gonna, how much of the gap up's gonna hold, what's gonna fade. Can you work yourself into a position, and then will it be higher later in the day or lower, et cetera, et cetera. P.S. Went as high as 583. This is now your new point of reference for the week. 577. Could that hold? We did a pretty good job with a straddle, right? So, you came out here. I was like, you know what? I'm going to buy the 571s just in case once you get above 571, and I'm going to buy the 560s just in case it wants to get to 556. So, wound up going to 583. Didn't do it perfectly, but it was a really nice play. One made up for the other big time. So now we'll save this and we'll see how it goes. Tomorrow's a CPI. We'll see if it's light. Do we get into the 585 area? Does it want to get to this? That would be kind of crazy. If this went straight to 596, 597 this week, which was kind of a spot we broke down from also, I would think people would be losing their minds. But anyway, we'll see. Numbers out of what? ASTS? Let's see. I know our GTI is coming in. Let's see. By the way, whenever you have these concept type plays, it's like you just they're growth names like you have here, but when it's like kind of sometimes shocking when you see like how little revenues they do. So I think they made 13 cents versus losing 6. And anyway, it's not quite pulling a QBTS. Didn't have the same type of numbers either. So anyway, so RGTI is not going to work. We'll see how it goes tomorrow. Maybe they come after it, maybe they don't. I did sell a lot of the options. I didn't do anything with it. So if you look here, basically, RGTI, I trimmed some at 9:43, and then I trimmed some, in the afternoon. And I got out of the shares by 2:30. So I made pretty good money, and I kept the flyer. Who knows? Maybe they would have been awesome, and it would have been up $3. They weren't. So risk is premium paid. Anyway, so we'll see what happens next there tomorrow. So between that and ASTS, those are the two little ones. I'm not sure if ASTS is going to be enough either. I also reduced a decent amount in ASTS. We'll see what they say in the conference call, if they have one. ASTS, I reduced also, trimmed there, and then trimmed there. And then now we'll see what happens for trading thereafter. Doesn't seem like it's going to be great. Anyway, so let's go through mega cap tech first. All we have now is some points of reference to trade against. You have 311 now. In Tesla, wasn't you couldn't really make much money in Tesla unless you took it home long, which is what we did, and I did that. I did also. After enough frustration, which there was, had a nice move, and now this is what? This is 322. This was 325. Didn't quite get there. We'll see what happens. There is some chatter that the Texas rollout is getting questioned because of safety issues that they're questioning. So we'll see. At this point, I am smaller, and it was a great trade. So we'll see what happens next. Anyway, that's what Tesla looks like. For those of you still in it, wasn't really much. We had one trade that it pulled in, and then me and Chilla were talking about it in the morning, and we were able to buy it. That was it. One little one. So where was that? You go here, go to your intraday. Really, it was nothing to write home about. came in, we bought a little bit, sold a little bit, and then it's went sideways all day. A lot of these things look exactly the same. They just didn't do much. You know, you go to Tesla, didn't do much all day. You go to Amazon, didn't do much all day. That's what happens when you get these big gap ups. They don't do much all day. I will say NVIDIA was better. NVIDIA at least gave you, I sold a lot of my premium, which is what I had on, and then I bought some shares and closed pretty well, and we'll see what happens here. NVIDIA has room if it wants it, but we shall see. This is now your new point of reference. Right here. What was the low? 120.28. This is that's a 120.28. And this was 122.50, which has got above that. So what's the next area? This would be like halfway into that. This would be the low here. It's above all the moving averages now, so if I wanted to do better, actually this is kind of like a downtrend also. This low is what, 128.50? I guess 128.50 could happen this week if the market wants to continue to the upside. It's a big if, but looks pretty good. More buyers showed up as the day progressed. Yeah. Mine was 116, so I didn't get stopped out. So you were a little tighter than me. I don't know if that'll be good or bad for tomorrow, but we'll see. What's this low? This low is 334. This low is 325. That's how we came up with that. This low is what? 324.70. So yeah, 325-ish. It happens. What Apple do today? Yeah. Came right into the resistance zone. All these things have gaps now. Every one of these things, are they going to be able to hold the gap pivot and take out today's high? That's basically the scoop moving forward. And which one's going to do it before someone else? You know? I don't know. This peak here is 214.55. It has room, it can get to the 200 day. I haven't been really trading Apple in a little while. That would be here, right? Meta was good. Meta was fun. It was fun. 635 resistance went through there. Where'd it go to? 640.39. That was a great option play. We played 3 different sets of options in the last 2 weeks on Meta. It's getting back in my good graces, but I didn't take it home. There is room to 659 if I wants it, I guess. This low here is what? 621.03. Yeah. So this is now gone. It already got through it. So get rid of that. So the next real line is up here. This is the big gap. Everything's got a gap now. We'll see. Does our GTI have a conference call coming up? That's what will have to be exciting. We have to talk about their conference call. What Netflix do? Broke 1126. Broke the 8 day. First closed below the 8 day. Something different. You have to adjust. ASTS. Yeah, I'm not trading after hours. I have options. That'd be nice if it could go up and counteract my RGTI. We'll see. But this, this is something different for Netflix. So hopefully you sold it. Now you'll see what happens is maybe once a 21 day. Right? Anyhow, this WRD, interesting. It's a nice candle. I think, why can't this get to here? Let's move down. This is the 50-day. That's 1140 something or other. It's $1 higher. Why can't it go up more than that? I don't know. It can. Look what's going on here. This WRD, just so you see. Look at the volume. Someone's doing something here. Why can't this get to 15? That'd be nice. It'd be nice. I'm such a weirdo. What would that be? That would be a gap fill over here-ish. Right? Is there a gap over there somewhere? That where this low is? I don't know. Anybody know more about this company than I do? So I don't know much. Sounds like people go into a car ride together, and they did a deal with Uber, and it traded big volume, so I'm there. Right? If you just look at volume, got above this level. Makes sense, right? Conference call. Yeah. What up, Ken? What did GLD do? No man's land. GLD is so hard. I don't understand how people trade gold for a living. If you want to buy it, you buy it long term, and that's about it. Someone asked me why I took SOUN, because Fibonacci told me to. It's earnings. This is a nice day one. There's a gap that can get filled, I guess. I haven't really looked at this thing in a long time, but it seems like some of the small caps are back in vogue a little bit. Right? Worthy. Maybe it's worthy. But yeah. What else? MBIS. It's a nice gap. A lot of guys like this name. Makes sense. It's above all the moving averages, is looking better. XBI had a good move. The guy in Spaces today was really talking about the XBI, how he thought that it was really constructive that the XBI did not go down with that news. But I think it went down prior, just kind of nowhere. So, if you were long versus 76, you didn't get stopped out. And now, I guess, see what happens here. It's already, it's interesting. I wouldn't do anything with XBI itself. If anything, you maybe do options. Maybe depending on how we open, go out like a few weeks and buy the $85 calls if we were to break this downtrend. Overall, this thing's been horrendous for so long, and he keeps talking about how it's going to have its day. Uh-oh, I didn't take HTZs. That went up. Come on. You want to piss on my Cheerios? Excuse me. Huh. Nice. I didn't take it. But if you guys did. That's right. There you go, Fig Jam. Fig Jam. Let's see what Ackman says. All right, well, I don't take stock in earnings anyway, so I had to sell it. So, yeah. All right. Gotta say today was a good day. I didn't sell the other part of my, what's it called, Blood in the Street account. I put 2 tiers, so I had about half in, a little bit more than half, and I took back some. So I have about a third left of it, which is a decent amount. we get one more day, like tomorrow, if the CPI is light and they squeeze the market higher, I'm probably going to get out of the rest of the Blood in the Street account. I made money on the second tier, and I think the first tier I put to work somewhere around here. I don't remember exactly where. I remember they screwed me at the end of the day. Maybe it was right here. I think this was the day I put it to work. And then I put the second tier here because I was like, all right, now, now I can get a close on the lows. So I think this was the day I put it to work. And then I put a little bit more here instead of here, which is where I should have put it to work, but I didn't. 575 on the first tier. So yeah, it's also, I feel good that it was 575 and it was early. I'm not like holding my breath and going on the water. It's not going to be a rock star trade. If we were to see close to 5 here, it's a decent percentage. And then I made money on the last year. Where was the second one? Was the second one? The second one was on the close right around here, I think. And I sold that into probably net 3% or 4% anyway. But the 401k is fully in, everything's fully in. The way this thing happened, it wasn't easy if you had to get the closing print, because it kind of screwed you on this day, and then you had to be in this day. If you wanted to get 481, you couldn't. Went all the way up, and then here it kind of came off lows, and then here also. So anyway, whatever, it's all good. HTZ. Not doing anything so great, but a little bit of follow through. My wife's happy. As long as she's happy, I'm happy. As long as she doesn't give me a hard time. Did I say that? Happy wife, happy life. Anyway, 433. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Don't do anything stupid overnight. We'll see what the CPI is, and we'll try and connect the dots and keep moving forward. Appreciate you guys.